what's up? It's Danaya Azure. Be sure to follow me all over social media at Danaya Azure, DANAYAAZURE, and like the Facebook page, facebook.com/Danaya Designs for You, facebook.com/Danaya Azure Radio, and be sure to subscribe to me on YouTube. Just type in Danaya Azure. Hello, and I want to welcome the founder of the 413 Steve Musielski to Danaya Azure Radio. How are you, Steve?
Hey, I am happy to be here, excited to be here, and glad to be here. And I'm looking forward to having this conversation about the 413, which is a community that's on Clubhouse. Clubhouse is an app, and Clubhouse is a place where you and I met, and that's where we first connected, was on Clubhouse. And you can find Clubhouse, find me there on Clubhouse by finding at Steven, Steven, Musielski, Musielski. So that's pronounced Musielski, and it's a tough one to pronounce, but then people pronounce it a bunch of different ways. But it's at Steven, Steven, Musielski, Musielski on Clubhouse. So what do you want to start off with in the question about the 413?
Definitely. So I originally connected with Steve Musielski because he interviewed one of my amazing friends. He had one of my amazing friends, Seba Chavez, actually speak, and it was so funny that I got a phone call like the night before. She's like, "Yeah, I had the speaking engagement at Clubhouse," and I was like, "That's awesome." She was like, "Yeah, it's kind of early in the morning." I was like, "Okay, how early?" She's like, at the time, the 413 was still at 413. She's like, "Oh, 6 in the morning." I was like, 6 in the a.m.? What? Are you kidding me? And she's like, "Yeah, just come in, do some, just do some recordings. So people can know that I'm there, and you can go back to sleep. No worries." I came in, and I saw how amazing that room was, and I saw just the passion behind everyone who was there. And the one thing that stood out to me the most was that Stephen said, "Why don't we go and follow everyone in the others in the room, so that the others in the room doing those?" And then they made a game out of it, of seeing how many people they can follow in the room. So there was barely any others in the room. Now, Clubhouse is a place where most people are solely focused on who's on stage and who's involved with the speaker section. So that right there really appealed to me, and showed me there's something different. So as opposed to the way that the 413 was when we first started, up until now, what would you say is the hugest difference?
Well, you know what? When I first came on, I was reluctant to go onto a new app at all. I was on Zoom, and a friend of mine, Don Voss, who's a marketing person from Coca-Cola, gave me the idea of going on and moving from Zoom to moving to another app. And I thought, wow, well, and I did. I joined it, and then it connected me with some people that I already knew that were on it. That was what was surprising at first. So that was the starting point. And then, I started the room with a group of people. But I think the thing that's changed the most is there's a maturity that the community has, and there's a community of maturity, which you weed in and out of who wants to be there, who can find value, who you can work with. There's all these variables that happen in building of a community, and it was such a learning experience to go, there's all these iterations, because at first the community, you get people there that are there for one set of reasons, and the people that are in the community now are there for a totally different set of reasons. So if I said one thing I've learned is the reasons people are there and sticking are not always what you think they would be, and it's sometimes very hard to pick who was going to stay, who wasn't going to be there. And now the community is driven by three main core principles, which are: one, thankfulness; two, encouragement; three, forward thinking. At the beginning, we didn't have those. We were just going by this one principle: who, then what. Because if you don't know who's going to stick, you can come up with any idea you want. But if you don't know who's going to stick, it's really pointless to try to build a community. You look at who you can get, and then you start building the what into the who or who's going to be there around you, and what do they want to do, and what can you do to build something together, and to create a what's in it for the people that'll keep them wanting to keep coming back. What's going to keep people wanting to come back. And now there's a community that's built around three core principles: thankfulness, encouragement, and forward thinking. So if somebody goes and they visit, they go on there, and they go into the community, they're going to find thankfulness, encouragement, and forward thinking are talked about every single day in a really innovative way. So it's not just talking about the top, those thankfulness, encouragement, and forward thinking. You're getting to hear participation, and not just from one or two or even 10 people. It's going to be always north of 10 people that you're going to be hearing feedback from, and engagement from, and a conversation from them. And when it first started, sometimes it would just be back and forth conversation with me, and back and forth conversation with who would ever show up. And sometimes you can get a room to grow in a audience based on just doing triggering topics, or topics that are just popular. But that doesn't really mesh well with building a community. And the word mesh is what we have now, where you can mesh the thankfulness, encouragement, and forward thinking. And we do have it, as you mentioned, the starting time on the West Coast is 3:38 in the morning. Yeah, 3:38 in the morning in California. But we have people that are in time zones from around the world. There's people from India that show up. There's people from Australia that show up. There's a large number of people that show up from London, because in London, it's 11:38 in the morning. So I'd encourage listeners, you go on, you look up Clubhouse. You can just Google Clubhouse. You can see what the app is, and they have a version now for Android or for Apple, and there's a lot of people on there. But what Clubhouse has that no place else has is the very, very, very best place, I believe, on the internet to build a community. If you go onto LinkedIn, if you follow me there, it's a good place to make money, right? Because business connections. So you can look me up there if you just want more LinkedIn connections. For anybody that's listening, any of your listeners, they want to look me up and add there. Stephen Musielski is my name there, which is Steven, and then Musielski spelled Musielski. So you can find me there. I'm on Twitter as well, Stephen Musielski. I'm on LinkedIn, Stephen Musielski. But for our conversation on Clubhouse, it's at Stephen Musielski. And so if you put that in, and you'll see a picture of a little trophy on there. And at the bottom of my profile, you'll be able to see when the room is every day. So if you're following me and you hit the little bell, there's a bell on there so you can be alerted when the rooms start. But if you're following, and at the bottom of my profile every day, you'll see when the room is. But it's 3:38 Pacific Standard Time, 6:38 Eastern Standard Time. And what time is it for you again, Danaya, in the Midwestern zone?
5:38.
5:38. So if I was going to say why you'd want to be there, is you're going to come at first and you're going to see some differentiated things. It's going to be different. It's a different experience, because you'll go in there. If it's your first time in there, you can message me directly, and I'm on the stage, but you can message me directly and I'll see it. And there'll be people that'll be in the community that are going to message you just by coming into the community. it's very highly likely if you have a filled out profile, you're going to have people in the community that will reach out to you. So you're going to get connected in a way that I have never really experienced anything similar to that on social media. You come in and there's people that are going to connect with you because there'll be a topic question of the day. That's something new that we didn't do at the beginning. So when you come in, you'll be able to message the people that are in the audience, and you'll be able to message the people on stage. Here's what's unique about this. You're gonna the people are engaging. They're actually going to respond back to you. So most social media that I've been on, when there's somebody up on a stage or somebody that's elevated in the community, they're not responsive. This community, as you come in and you message people that are on the stage and around you in the audience, they're very, very, very engaging. And what you'll see is if you stay for any period of time, you stay for, we have what we call like now the 11-day challenge. If you came for 11 straight days and you're around the community from the start of it till the end, which is an hour and 22 minutes, you stay for any period of time, you're going to start making genuine connections where they're going to say, hey, let's jump on a phone call, let's jump on a Zoom call, let's connect on this other thing. What are you into? I mean, you're going to get genuinely deep engagement because there's a genuine community. Once again, it's Clubhouse, and it's the app. And if you download the app, it's very, very user friendly. The user experience is good, but it's the best place I've found on the internet to build a community. And it would be wonderful to have anybody that's listening, that listens to your show, become part of the community. And the way that you become part of it is you just join Clubhouse, look my name up, which is and it's Stephen Musielski. I'll spell it again, Musielski, and it's Stephen, just Steven. If you're not on it, you can even reach out to me. My messages are open on Twitter, and my messages are open on LinkedIn as well. So if you're more of a business-minded person, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. And if you're more of an influential person, you're on Twitter, you can connect with me there. But I don't do Instagram, but I do Twitter, and I do LinkedIn and Clubhouse. But what other question do you have that I probably missed in that?
I mean, I think the biggest thing about this whole thing was just to kind of to get to know you. So you, I noticed that when it comes to not just Clubhouse, but in general, you you've always been a connector of people. So have you always been that way your entire life, or did you kind of grow into that role?
Oh, wow. Yeah. So I would say this. I think I found that connecting with the most people, when I'd say this, one of my first jobs was selling water. And so I'd connect with people and sell water and over the phone. And so I just found that the more people I mean, in today's day and age, they say your network is your net worth. I've kind of known that intuitively for a long time. But the key that I think is very interesting is there's the people connection, but then there's this other variable that I think is interesting is the patience variable. So building up a network is great, and you can make money, but I do believe to collaborate and solve problems and solve challenges for the world at the highest levels, I really believe that patience and building depth in the relationships, not just breadth, not just how many followers do I have, but how deep can I go with them, has been one of the tricks. And that's that I think I'd missed since Clubhouse. Clubhouse is reinvigorated. Okay, how do we build depth? And I will tell you this: a person they come every day uh, into the 413. They're going to get depth with the people that are there if they stay for a period of time. Is there going to be a flow of people coming in and out? Yeah. So there's new flow continuously that you can make new connections with. But there's also a depth that's being created in the community, unlike anything I've seen in any other social media before. Because, I've seen a little bit of depth where people would message on message boards or, through private backroom chats and things like that. But I've never seen anything like Clubhouse. So even if other businesses like Twitter or LinkedIn try to create competitive platforms, there's a mindset that people have that are on Clubhouse that's very innovative and highly differentiated. And that's another thing. So what you'll get when you're in the community, yes, you'll get thankfulness. Yes, you'll get forward thinking. And yes, you'll get encouragement every time you come in. But here's one of the pieces of that of the puzzle of success that'll happen in the 413 that I've seen no place else is the differentiated thinking is going to lead to differentiated actions. If you come for a period of time, you're going to think differently. If you come for a period of time, say you give it 90 days and you come for 90 days, after that time, you're going to think differently, you're going to act differently, and your results will be different. And that'll be in other areas of your life, not just the community, but it'll spill into your other areas of your life. So, and when you have differentiated thinking, you can create some things that can solve really big problems. I think that's the exciting part. But what other question do you have? And probably that I may have danced around through that answer. What else do you have that I'm missing?
And Stephen Musielski is my guest here at Danaya Azure Radio. I mean, I think my biggest question would be, what is your vision for the 413?
Okay, now the vision. Here's where I see this heading, because the first part was having thankfulness, encouragement, and forward thinking, and then first seeing who would show up. Right, the first. So it's been through these stages. First, who would show up. Then it turned into the principles to have as the foundation. And right now, the vision is becoming clearer and clearer. What's going to be able to happen is there's going to be collaborations that are going to happen within the community, and they're going to be built on trust. So the upside becomes incredible what can happen. And the vision is to see there's going to be a far more collaboration. And one of the things I'm convinced of is that we're going to be the most profitable community on Clubhouse. So we may not be the biggest, we may not get into tens of thousands or people like that, but I think that I'm convinced beyond any doubt that it's going to be a very, 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 very profitable community to become involved with. So whether you're into sales, whether you have an entrepreneurial mindset, even if you're just, there's people in there that just come because they want to be encouraged, and that's fine too. There's people that are just really going through a challenge in their life. They just sit and they listen to the encouragement, thankfulness, and forward thinking. And those people then kind of move up, because where it's going to go is you will see projects taken on that will come out of the 413 that people are going to go, wow, where did that come from? Well, it came from a group of people that were in the 413. Similar to what happened for places like Y Combinator and other, think tanks, where thing solutions get created because what you see, or what you'll hear when you go in there, rather, because it's an audio app only. So that's another thing that really compelled me in, is I don't really want to have my camera on all the time. I enjoy just walking around while it's on, while I'm doing it. But what's compelling about it is the audio part and the diverse opinions and perspectives and input and solutions and ideas and tactics, because there's tactics and strategies people share are very different, because there's innovative people there. And what you're going to see come out of the 413, I believe, are going to be businesses. They're going to be very, very profitable. I don't want the secret on that part to get out too much, but for your listeners that are listening, come in, get to know some people there. Um, give it 11 days at least. Come in, give it 11 days, so you kind of get a flavor for what's going on. The way you come in, you join by looking my name up, which would be at, and then my name, Stephen, and then the last name is spelled Musielski. Once again, Musielski, and you look up Stephen Musielski on Clubhouse, the app, and you follow me. You can even send me a message. That'll be fine, and I'll reply. And every day we run it 3:38 in the morning. We do that 7 days a week. Yes, we did it on Thanksgiving Day. Yes, we did it on Christmas. Yes, we did it on New Year's. So I'm at about 250 days straight. And yes, we do it live. And yes, we do it 7 days a week. And the vision that I'm seeing in this is the people that are in it now are that get committed, that get to know a lot of people in the community. I'm convinced it's going to be a very profitable community for people that are in it, but also you're going to build great friendships. Also, the friendships that you'll develop there will be solid long term, and the people that you'll meet, I'd say the people there are kind. They're kind people, compassionate people, very different than what you'll find on most internet, most any other. Oh, bottom line, any other platform, any other community I've been in, this is the best community to be around. You'll come in and you'll be treated almost like you're a family member by coming in. If you stay for any period of time, you're gonna connect with some really, really smart people, very well connected people, smart people. And when you're doing that and you're in the position of proximity, hold on to your hat, because you're going to hear about a lot of businesses that are going to come out of there. It's going to be very similar to what's happened with think tanks that have had successful companies coming out of there. And I've never really talked about that part much, but I thought I'd save it for your show and just share it here, that you're going to see businesses pop out of the 413 where people are going to go, where did that come from? How did you do that? How are you making so much money? How are you doing that? There's going to be a lot of the questions that are going to be developed in the future are going to be, how did that happen? How did that happen? How did so many people become so successful from a little app community? People are going to ask that question. How did that happen? So that's the vision. It's going to create the, wow, how did that even happen? So that's where it's headed. How did that happen?
Definitely, I agree. And I think that's the biggest thing about when it comes to 413 is the people that come there and what the 413 attracts specifically. The 413 wasn't always what it is now. So, what was your driving motivation when it first started? Because it was very different when it first began. And what made you decide to make it 7 days a week as opposed to just a couple of times a week?
Well,
Because that's really, really hard, especially like I've been on the West Coast for past few weeks and getting up at 3 in the morning. Lord have mercy. It's a lot of drive. So what really, really um, has driven you to be consistent when it comes to that, despite some of the challenges that you faced?
doing something 7 days a week, you start to see a community start to gel together, and it becomes almost it becomes a need to, because you have the want to and you get excited in the early stages, but soon you start to see there's business things that are happening behind the scenes that aren't talked about, and there's collaborations that are happening between people. You're going, wow, this is exciting. So the drivers can be underneath the hood and underneath what's happening there, because people are testing. They're seeing who comes in, how long they come in, what time they come in, do they stay the whole time. People are testing that, and they're testing that. They're listening. They're watching. They're going, who's coming in? What do they go up on stage? Do they share? Do they message their three or four things? Do they message daily? And I think it just became the 7 days a week was, I was just going to do it for a short 15-minute one. It wasn't at first going to be this long, but I saw the people coming in and the caliber of people coming in, and I saw the opportunity. I saw the vision of what it could turn into. And at first, I mean, I wasn't as clear as I am now on what it can turn into, but now it's getting very, very, very clear. It's turning into something where there's going to be people that the personal development part of thankfulness, encouragement, and forward thinking is so simplified, so streamlined. I've read personal development books, 7 Habits, Think and Grow Rich, the 13 Principles. I think sometimes it's almost like you get a principle overload. I've read John Maxwell books. I've read Think and Grow Rich books. And I thought, wait a minute, what if it was just so simple? The system of what the focus was could just be cut down and explained in 5 seconds, like thankfulness, encouragement, forward thinking, thankfulness, encouragement, forward thinking, thankfulness, encouragement, forward thinking. I mean, what if it was that simple to build the foundational principles on? Because we talk about, hey, what are you thankful for? What's something you're super thankful for today? That'd be an opening question, and everybody's answering. Second one is, what are 1 to 10 words of encouragement you have? The next one is, at the end, what are one to four words you'll take with you today to move your life forward today? So those are the things we'll ask. One, what is one thing you're super thankful for? Two, what are 1 to 10 words of encouragement you have? And then three, what are 1 to 4 words you'll take with you today to move your life forward today? So at the very end, you're thinking about moving your life forward. And at the very end, we do a count up, which we count from 0 to 11. And 0 to 1 represents creativity, and counting up rather than doing a countdown represents the upward thinking in the community. And going from 10 to 11 rather than stopping at 10 represents the extra mile thinking in the community. But every single day coming in, it became a driver for me, because I saw the community changing my mindset for the better and changing my action set for the better. In doing this, the people that were coming in were changing my mindset for the better. So what I was getting is my mindset was being improved. And I said, oh, their mindset being improved and their action set, because it's the simplicity of, what you're thinking about the most is probably going to spill into your actions and spill into your habits. And so when you're thinking about thankfulness, encouragement, and forward thinking, it spills into everything. And if you're a leader, so if you're listening to this and you're a leader, think about this. What leader doesn't would rather have the opposite? Which leader would say, yeah, I really wish the people I was leading were more thankful? Of course. Of course, who wouldn't want that? The other part is, which leader wouldn't want encouraging people in their community? Every leader wants that. Which leader wouldn't want forward thinkers in their community? Think about the opposite of those. What leader wants ungrateful, unthankful people? Nobody. Which leader wants discouraged people continuously in a state of discouragement? No leader wants that. Which leader wants people that are stuck in the past and won't move forward? No leader wants those things. And so what we believe is going to happen is there's going to be people that are leaders of organizations that can use it as a way to bring people in that train for them, or work with them or partner with them. And one of the things, Seba, that invited you in, that's probably going to become a trend too, where people have ambassadors that sit and listen for them when they can't attend. And they have employees that work for them that come and listen, because what boss doesn't want their employees to have more thankfulness, encouragement, and forward thinking in them? With those three, they work across a wide spectrum of applications, all positive, all good, for problem solving, for leading a business, for having employees. It works for a tremendous in a tremendous number of directions. But what kept me driven was me and it impacting my own mindset, the thankfulness, encouragement, and forward thinking, so much that my actions changed and the differentiation of my actions changed. And what differentiation does, it gives you this massive competitive advantage. And what I'm expecting to see happen is people are going to go, how did that happen? They're going to go, how did that happen? Because you're going to see businesses come out of it. You're going to see nonprofit ideas come out of it. You're going to see many projects come out of it that people are going to go, how did that happen? And it's because the people that are there, starting with the right principles, you can that are there consistently. You can see consistency. You can see the right principles, and then they have a mindset to go out and do just tremendous projects in the world that are very profitable, very, very, very profitable. So, if your listeners want to do something that's going to move them in the direction of profitability, improve their emotional strength just through the simplicity of thankfulness, encouragement, and forward thinking, I'd encourage them to join Clubhouse. I'd encourage them to look up my name on there, which is at Stephen Musielski, which is Musielski. But anything else you have, or have I covered everything yet?
So, with all of that being said, what do you want your legacy to be?
Well, do you know what? I would say one thing is and if I had to break it down to one word, it'd be empowering. Empowerment is something my mentors have passed down to me. I've been blessed to have mentors in. I remember, I have one that I have several mentors, and they've all done really amazing things. Some of them have had business exits in the hundreds of millions. One, when I met him, he was worth 500 million, and he's now worth 3 billion. That's one of my mentors that really just made me think just totally differently, moving me from thinking just one way to moving me from thinking, okay, 500 million, wow. And then I watched his net worth now when I Google it, it's 3 billion. And I think, wow, it's just amazing that I got to meet and be around a person like that, and seeing people that have had $100 million exits. But what I've learned from mentors for sure is the importance of empowering people, not helping them, but putting them in positions to win, and not just trying to do it for them, but teaching a person to fish rather than giving them a fish, and putting them in positions to win. And I hope that people go. Steve is known as a person that was not only thankful, encouraging, and forward thinking, but he put people in positions to win, and a lot of people won in their lives on every levels, because there's not just financial, there's spiritual, there's health, there's spiritual, there's family, there's other things. And as I get to know people that come into the community, they do it, they're there for like 92 days or something. I then try to get to know them on a personal level, and then have the longer conversations that can, really get into the more challenging topics to talk about. Because another thing you won't hear there is you won't hear political conversations. You're not going to hear spiritual conversations, because those are just long conversations to have personally with people after you really get to know them. And but that I think it's a healthier place to begin a relationship and just, with people. It's just engaging with them through thankfulness, encouragement, and forward thinking, and differentiation of ideas, and that really can move a person forward and empower them. So if I was going to say one word, I'd boil it down to legacy through empowerment, and I'd leave it at that.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree, and I think for everything that you've done has really changed people's lives in terms of the way that you brought them together, in terms of the way that so many people from around the world have networked and to build each other up and build dreams. And I want to say thank you for everything that you've done for myself and what you've done for Seva, just in terms of her confidence and all of that. We truly appreciate you for sure.
Well, thank you very much. So are we at an ending point? This is probably pretty good.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you. I truly appreciate you.
All right. So, in one closing word, I'd say is thank you to Seva for connecting us. Thank her so much. She's an amazing individual. Seva Chavez, and thank you for her connecting us and bringing us together. And with that, one final time, if you want to get connected in the Clubhouse, join the Clubhouse app, Google it, and then just look up my name on Clubhouse, which is at, and then Stephen Musielski, which is Musielski, and I hope to see you there. Come in, join Clubhouse, message me directly. I'll make sure you get engaged with some of the community. If you say, "Hey, look, I heard about you through Danaya Azure and her radio show," you say that, and I'll really work to get you connected with some of the right people that'll help you build some good relationships in there, because it's a great opportunity, and I'm thankful for the opportunity. And I think with that, I'm done. And
yes, thank you so much, Stephen. You're awesome. Have an amazing day.
You too. Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye.
Hey, what's up? It's Danaya Azure. Be sure to follow me all over social media at Danaya Azure, DANAYAAZURE, and like the Facebook page, facebook.com/Danaya Designs for You, facebook.com/Danaya Azure Radio, and be sure to subscribe to me on YouTube. Just type in Danaya Azure.